It's the music that we choose. 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 The music that we choose.
Hey guys, it is Scuba here, and I'm joined by Mocha over here and Nellyville over here.
Yo.
This is a podcast that we're starting out. We're basically going to be trying to do this about twice a week. We're basically just going to be talking about video games, comic books, movies, games. If something comes out, we're going to probably be talking about it if it's talked about a lot. Probably get some news stories in there and stuff like that.
Yo.
But today, we are going to be talking about DLC in video games. We're going to be talking about couch multiplayer, bringing up a bunch of questions about DLC because both of these guys have different opinions, and I think it could really get into some interesting stuff.
Not about it, man.
So, to start it off, let's just talk about DLC. DLC is downloadable content. It's basically when you buy a game, you have the option most of the time to get additional content for extra money. And they can add like fighters to a fighting game, or like outfits and stuff for characters or whatever.
For all you Call of Duty people out there, maps. And
you gotta love your maps and gun skins, guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's a thing, but whatever.
So that's basically what we're going to talk about. Try not to get into some crazy arguments. Gonna have to hold these guys back here.
Man.
But
DLC.
So what do you guys think? DLC. I'll go ahead and start with Mocha over here since he's got a very strong opinion about DLC. How do you feel, man?
I've hated DLC ever since it came out, bro. I don't know. It's a way to have just spend more money on half a game, man. I'm not really about that. Like, you give me half a game and I pay $60 for it. Like, you're gypping me and you're gypping yourself for not being real creative about it. If you ask me, I'm not into it too much, but
okay. Do you support it in any way?
In some cases, if I'm really into the game, then quite possibly, or if the DLC's at a decent price, like Rocket League, they got 3 maps, couple cars. It's real nice to have it. It's only about $5, so I mean it's in my price range. Most of the stuff, buy the season pass for $30. Not really about that.
So it's more of like a pricing issue for you.
I think
DLC is DLC that puts a little more money behind it for you to get is a little more unfair than just like a $5 couple cars in Rocket League type of stuff.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at like Destiny or whatever, the story is really lacking. You kind of beat the game and you get to the credits and you're like, so what did I just accomplish here? You get to the end and there's no closure. There really wasn't a story to begin with, and then you got the Taken King and then all these other expansions that should have been in the game to be from jump, to be quite honest. So I think it's just kind of trash. I have to pay another $30-something either for the season pass or the new DLCs. That's like a completely different game. They changed everything about it. So I don't think it's really worth my time to go ahead and buy any of that.
Okay. Nellyville, what do you think, man?
I think that all DLCs kind of iffy on it because it can go both ways. Like games like Call of Duty where you have your extra maps, extra gun skins, extra guns, extra COD points for buying the premium package or whatever. It's all useless at that point. But there's certain genres that I feel deserve DLCs would be the word for that.
Yeah.
Such as, like, I know Jeremy just like totally dogged on it, but the Taken King, like, I think that was like a really good DLC for Bungie to put forward because
you hurt me, man.
Nah, dude, it just gave like, cause Destiny players always like finding some like weird reason like I can't play any more games. Tuesdays are done. I've already done my 6 raids and 3 nightfalls and all my Vanguard strikes and all this shit.
So in that case, do you think that games like Destiny need something like that? Do you think that they need a DLC edition to kind of keep your mind into it, or do you think without the DLC it would become too repetitive?
Well, I think Xbox players who really haven't delved much into RPGs, like when they first start getting into one, they really get into it.
Yeah.
And don't really understand the value behind just playing the game for how it is, and they just want more content because they're used to games like Call of Duty coming out with maps and everything and all this. So it really goes both ways. Like, Call of Duty really doesn't deserve them. Like, mostly RPGs would be optimal.
For sure. I can agree with
DLCs,
that.
Yeah. I understand where he's coming with on Rocket League. I've kind of had some time to think about this. Like, it's really not too bad paying, like, an extra $3 or $4 or $5 for, I don't know, a DeLorean. Like,
exactly.
That's awesome stuff.
Yeah. It's real simple stuff, but it adds a whole lot, and they know that you're not going to use it for a long time. You're gonna mess with it for a little bit, and then you're probably just going to do away with it. So, I mean, spending that much money on something that you're not going to use all the time it's redundant. Yeah. It's useless.
So it's kind of, you think it's kind of like a matter of all video games at some point kind of have their uses, and at some point you got to give it up with the DLC. Is that what you mean?
I feel like
just drop it at some point.
If the game itself, like the base game itself, was as thorough as it should have been, then I feel like DLC. I mean, if you're really into the game, then go ahead and buy whatever it is your heart desires. But at the base of the game, if I get like a crap game where it's just super short, ultra repetitive, I'm playing the same missions over and over, just the enemies are just more bullet sponges, then DLC is just not. I'm not really about that.
I think my opinions. I'm so on the fence about DLC.
Yeah.
I think that with fighting games, I feel like just being raised on fighting games alone, I'm so used to just getting what I get.
Yeah.
And I have to find myself loving these characters, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't. I hate going in, buying a new fighting game, and they're like, hey man, well they're eventually going to come out with, 7 more fighters. Do you want to pay $20 for that? It's like, no, why is it? You already, in what it was with Mortal Kombat X, she told me the characters that were going to come out. And it's like, why'd you release your game if on the release
you had already
date,
planned to make
you
those characters?
already know what characters you're going to come out with. And you're going to charge me, and now I'm paying $80 for something you probably already have.
You planned it out. Yeah. Planned DLC is crap DLC because they're going to release the game and be like, oh, we were already planning on adding more to the story. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't you have just included that in the game itself?
Did you go at a slower pace because you knew you could just toss this other extra idea in as DLC? I do love ones that just kind of hit me out of nowhere.
Exactly.
I love those ones because it seems more like they
thought
of it after. Exactly. They want to hit me with something new that they actually cared about entering in the game, not, oh, we're going to add Jason Voorhees. Do you want to give us $20?
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't even...
You can buy the extra skin packs for $2.50.
Yeah. It's kind of like, this situation actually happened a couple days ago when he bought Street Fighter V. He was real disappointed when he popped it in. There's like 12 characters to choose from, but you got Street Fighter 4 Ultra.
Yeah.
It has like an ungodly amount of characters, but I just kind of hope that with that game, they're probably just going to keep adding the characters, and it's not really DLC because I think they gave you Guile, like that was a new addition.
I think so.
I mean, it should have been an addition that was already included, but it was free. So if they keep adding new fighters like that, DLC is cool, but like.
But just knowing Capcom too, they'll probably throw some dumb shit.
Yeah.
But I can't even enjoy my time with Street Fighter V. It's a great game, looks beautiful, but the amount of characters in comparison to what I was used to with Street Fighter Ultra 4 was a huge amount of characters. Akuma's not even in.
That's
5.
disappointing. Like one of the main staples of the
main
game.
Staples. Balrog.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I just keep finding myself playing Ultra 4 instead of 5. Maybe 5 will get there at some point. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
But okay, let's talk about old times playing games. Let's talk about like when there wasn't DLC, when you popped in Resident Evil 4.
Golden days.
Single player.
Talking like 007
single player,
days, bro.
Yeah, single player.
I'm
This is the
talking.
game. You love it for what it is, buggy or not. They're not fixing it. You're dealing with it. You're loving it.
Yeah.
Jack and Daxter.
Jack and Daxter.
Excellent game, bro.
Yes, sir. That is my favorite game series of all time.
All right. Mine was more of the Resident Evil Silent Hills. I really got down with some horror games growing up.
Yeah.
I was into the fighting games a little bit, but it was more along those lines, and I just know that those games were so perfect and so full of detail that a DLC wouldn't have even done anything with it. It was just a perfect game.
You being a little kid and your imagination just ran rampant on those games, or do you go back and like when I play Final Fantasy VII, it's still like everything I've ever dreamed of.
Yeah,
and that's like the first RPG I ever played as a kid. That's probably one of my favorites for sure.
I would definitely often think it could just be the nostalgia of being a kid and loving the game just coming back to me.
Yeah.
But when I go back and play them, they still seem so unflawed in comparison to the games I'm playing now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know
like
if that's
the
just because
mechanics working like perfectly.
Right.
Yeah, everything just
nothing complex.
It really feels, and I don't know if that's just because with the graphical updates, it's harder to keep track of bugs and stuff like that. But I just feel like when you see something as beautiful as Final Fantasy X or Resident Evil 4, back to that, like, there's nothing wrong with these games. It's like they really cared when they were making the game, and lately the games I've been getting, it just feels like they're barely trying because they know that they can, deal with it in a bug fix or throw out some DLC that kind of helps us out with these issues we have. But I don't know. I feel like nostalgia can play a huge factor in it, and that might be what it is, because I still adore every game that I've started to play. That
on the other hand, though, like, there's dudes still having Melee tournaments, so
and they'll look at the new Smash Bros and just say, fuck this game, dude.
Trash compared to Melee.
I can't deal with this at all. All right. Do you think? This is kind of what direction we were going in, but do you think it's all about the money for most of these people with the DLCs?
I think it's the companies behind them telling them, like, hey, we have to make some money off this. It's just kind of like, it's just everyday struggle of an artist. Video game makers are artists, if you ask me. Anybody who like illustrates comic books, they want you to buy like their stuff, but also they got to go through like a whole marketing process. The what's it called? The consumer and supplier process. How are we going to get the most bang out of our buck for this project? So I think that's where DLC comes in. It's just another idea just to get our money, I think, in kind of a bad way, just because the games to me are getting less and less creative and just less and less just fun to play. Honestly, it just feels like they don't take their time with it. There's not enough love put into the game. It's just like eating a trash cake.
Look at EA.
On, like, graphics. Everyone's really focusing on graphics.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Battlefront. Like, I feel like Battlefront did kind of terrible, honestly, compared to like its predecessors, just because it was solely online and you didn't have anything to work with like besides online. And you paid $60 for that game, and they're still coming out with DLC for it. And it's just like, you already gave me half a game, and then now you're wanting me to buy more map packs, more whatever.
Yeah, you should have known by what you released that this was going to go over negatively, and that you weren't. I mean, you'll have your kids going up to mom and saying, I need this DLC pack. This game is trash, but you don't want your game to be trash in the first place. Yeah. That's exactly what EA is doing with their
for that stuff, man.
With their pay for this, pay for these coins, whatever. It's like. It doesn't make any sense, man. They're just trying to do too much to get your money, and it becomes more of like this guy has a better team than mine in Madden because the dude had more cash to throw into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that just kind of ruins the fun of the game. It's just kind of like, I don't mean to skip ahead here or anything, but like in-game items that you can buy with real money, like that feels like something that you would find in a mobile app, not like a PS4 console where you're like, oh, do you want to buy all these shirts in the store in GTA?
Yeah.
We'll give up $5 and you can have that, and you can have $100,000 in your bank account right now. And I'm like, that's like, play the game and just earn the stuff. That's what it's there for, to earn it, not just to dish out more money that you've already paid a full price game for.
I worked at a GameStop in Maryland, and we had a whole section with cards for like the Madden coins and the Grand Theft Auto money, the fake money or whatever. And it was like, it was crazy how kids would come in there, man, and just have their parents just dish out money, not towards a console, not towards a game they wanted, but towards coins and fake money in this other game. And they would dish out like over $40 on this stuff. And it's like, I cannot see myself doing this.
It's like buying Disney
really
dollars
can't.
at Disneyland. I'm like, why can't I just use my U.S. currency?
Yeah,
why do you gotta make me go through this process?
Yeah, dude, that stuff was awful, man.
It's
Oh
a
my
bad time for
gosh.
everyone.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was couch multiplayer. Because I remember all the times that I would play a game with my dad, and we recently actually, well, not too recently, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, my dad and I tried to play Madden, and we would always do a couch multiplayer. Like, I pick my team, he picks his team, and we just go through the season together. And when we popped in Madden, I don't even remember which one it was, maybe like Madden 13 or something, it didn't let us join one unless we were on separate PlayStations on an online account together, just playing through the season. And it was like, you mean to tell me that I can't sit side by side with my dad and play this game through a franchise? You can't do the same thing with a 2-player that you can do online. You already have this coded in. Just give me a break here. And it was pathetic, man. It really made me hate EA for a really long time.
Oh, dude.
Just to kind of crush that feeling.
Yeah.
My dad and I went out and bought this game specifically for that, and to crack it open, get all excited about it, and not be able to play it together was absolute bullshit.
That's what I love about like the older generation, like Xbox 360. You could play online with a guest. And that was like super dope. If I wanted to play, hey, you wanna play Halo?
Like Modern Warfare,
Yeah.
bro.
Like nowadays, it's like you got to go through like, a lot of stuff just to like play online with your friends. And it's like, what if you don't have internet connection? Like, you know, we just recently moved in this house, and the internet was kind of trash. So I'm trying to play Division, and it's a all online game, and internet's trash, so you can't really play. And that's your friends really want to play with you. They've been hitting you up all week, and then you're like, sorry guys, I can't play because my internet sucks. Like, instead, like, hey, come on over, we'll play the Division side by side. No, that's not going to happen because we still don't have internet.
It's the online world is definitely taken over hardcore, and it sucks that we can't have the old Call of Duty split screens where there was entire game modes based around you just sitting with your friend, palm sweating, you know what I mean? Just like hoping to God this guy doesn't see you around the corner, and you're like, all right, man, you're gonna need to go out here. I'm gonna go this way. Right. Like, it just sucks knowing that, like, in order to do that, I have to.
It added a whole other element to the game too. Like, you were able to see, you had eyes on just about everything.
Yeah,
right.
Like, and it's so much more fun camping out in the living room instead of being on a mic with people permanently. It's like, dude, you want to hang out? No, I'd much rather play games with you online at my house because we can't do anything on the console besides maybe split screen Rocket League or fighting games. It's like, come on, dude.
I'll say there's nothing more satisfying than crushing your own friend in your own home. And like Smash Bros or something like that. It's so personal.
Like this is Mocha's my roommate, and when we play each other in games, it's weird because he'll be in the other room and I'll be out here, and when something crazy happens, it really defeats a lot of it because he'll have to stand up, walk in here, and look me dead in the eyes
and
say,
hassle, man.
I'm sorry I had to whoop your ass. But it's like, I just miss the day sitting right next to the person and just going, so how about that? How about that, man? Did you enjoy that ass whooping deluxe with extra cheese? Like, you're done.
Yeah.
But
I remember my dad, like, just to bring back some memories, we'd play Tekken together, and he would ruin me. Just up and down, just talking mad shit the whole time. Like, you don't want none of this, boy. Like, I'm just way better than you. The dude would put me in tears all the time. I would be so infuriated,
Dude,
man.
I was always a really big fan of Mario Kart, man.
Mario Kart's a good
one. Really good couch game.
I will say that Nintendo didn't really follow into it, and I know that that's because, you know, Nintendo has a lot more money going on right now that they can just take their crazy Wii risks and shit like that, whatever. But anyways, they've really allowed you to continue on, and I don't know if that's because they're games that got them a lot of money are those family type games that
Yeah.
they're like, oh, if we go all online, we're absolutely fucking screwed.
Yeah, I think Nintendo like is targeting like a certain demographic when they make products. To be quite honest, it's more based on like family things. Like you're spending time with your family playing Mario Kart or like Wii Fit. You know,
Like Xbox is a very like adult console.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox, PS4,
Yeah.
PC even. PC's like grandpa.
It's a lot more complicated.
grandpa PC. Damn.
Hey, they
And
say
not-
PC's
not
that
political
master race
correctness.
though, man. Shoot.
Yeah.
Not political correctness either.
But I know that when I tried to buy the characters for Smash Bros, Ryu and what were the other ones that
Like
they had?
Cloud and then a couple others. I think a couple other like Fire Emblem characters.
And then Ness? No, the other one.
Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas. Yes, I went to go
Mewtwo.
buy. I went to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I went to go buy them, and their store page was so damn clunky on the Wii U, and it was like,
Oh,
you
man.
know damn well that they're not trying to push this DLC shit down your throat. Nintendo's got it right
Yeah.
in a really weird, ugly way. I'm struggling to buy Ryu right now
Right.
because this payment system and layout is shitty.
I mean, how do you guys like DLC on the Nintendo systems? I mean, do you think it works the same way, or is it like, do you think Nintendo like is kind of pushing the DLC in a different way than PS4 and Xbox? Or
I don't know. It seems like they're so much more proud of the things that they make for their DLC.
I feel like they're more practical. Like when you're giving me like saying Smash,
You don't really hear much about like DLCs for Nintendo games at all.
Yeah.
Mostly because like you just said, like they do put like pride into the product they create. So
That's
it's
true.
not
Like-
I mean, think about it, dude. You pick up a Pokemon game.
Mhm.
You're playing that game. I mean, there's people who still play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like they'll have their
Religiously.
same
Oh, yeah.
character.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
like
having
100 plus hours,
100 plus,
Yeah.
1,000 plus, million plus.
With-
a little bit much, but
1,000
With no
Pokemon later, bro.
With no DLC too, so
Yeah.
that says something.
at all.
We're adding Gen 6's DLC. Spend $35.
And
Like,
the closest,
what?
thing, the
What do you
closest
mean
thing you had to DLC at that point was trading with your friends to get a stronger.
That was-
Yeah, that was
That was
awesome.
the-
Nostalgia. I don't know if technology just kind of sucks nowadays, or if we're just getting old. Because back in the day, man.
Back in my day.
Kids, I don't know, man. My little brothers, they don't seem phased at all by the idea of DLC, or they just like don't care about getting it all together, and they just enjoy the game for what it is. So
Mhm.
they kind of have like part of the way that I feel, and part of the way that where they're like, oh my god, I gotta get this. It's a DLC.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't often don't talk to children and say,
Oh.
hey,
Well-
kid, how do you feel about DLC, man? You like DLC? I'm about to have a podcast about it. I'd love to get your opinion.
We need your vote, man. Come on. I don't
Yeah.
even know what DLC is, bro.
Get away from me.
Kids' opinions don't really matter, man.
yeah. But I don't know. Maybe that's why. Nintendo doesn't really push their stuff that much. I mean, well, back to what I was saying about the Pride thing is that like when they came out with those new characters, all you saw was their like Twitter posts where they were like, Ryu steps into action.
Yeah, dude.
And it wasn't like, hey, buy Ryu for $15 fucking or whatever. It was just Ryu's in the game now. If you want him, go ahead. If not, I don't really
Bye-bye.
care. You know, we're
Yeah.
Nintendo. We don't really care.
I'll tell you what I think is bullshit though is I think they don't focus on DLC more as like a marketing scheme, but I think those amiibos, dude, that's where they're killing the game right there. Those amiibos are pretty much PS4 and Xbox 360 or Xbox just One in general. I think that's their DLC. Because
Yeah,
a lot of people are buying those and they're like, hey, you can level this dude up and throw him in different games and all this stuff, and like those things are pretty expensive, and they have quite a lot of them. Because I have a friend that actually collects them, and it's quite an extensive hobby for sure.
Yeah. They're. I remember another thing when I worked at that GameStop was those and
Skylanders.
and they had the
too.
Skylanders.
Yeah, they're the pioneers. Them and Disney and Infinity, bro. They added just a whole new level of bullshit to the video game system.
Yeah.
Like
They,
you can buy these figures separately, which are essentially DLC for the game.
Yeah.
Like you will pay to have a stronger character.
Yeah, we could just be cheap assholes, or there's something behind this crap.
I don't think that I should have to pay like Well, first off, I mean, if you're gonna be for DLC, you have to be for online DLC. I don't think I could go into a store, buy an Amiibo, Skylander, Disney Infinity, be like, yeah, dude, that Mewtwo's gonna, or like whatever, anything.
Yeah.
Like if they did it with Pokemon or something, Mewtwo, like that Mewtwo's gonna cost like $11, and you're like, what?
Why?
Yeah.
Like, why don't I just first off, just put the character in the game and just have me unlock them in some sort of like objective-based game mode.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they did do that, man. They did kind of kill that whole, like, that's why the other Smash Bros. were such a blast, is because you were able to go, oh man, I need to grind this, or I need to grind that out.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I'm just gonna go to GameStop real quick and pick up this link.
But what I really do like is, like those, I don't really buy into them a lot, but those pay-to-play games like Warcraft and like you got Final Fantasy 14 Reborn, I think like that kind of DLC is cool because they're forever expanding on the game, but you're constantly paying them, which is kind of a downfall.
That's another thing I was going to talk about. Is
like I understand that concept more than DLC because they're constantly working on that game. Like as you're playing it, they're making it better.
Like,
they're not just like, oh, here's a patch there,
yeah,
or here's DLC that we've planned for like from like day one in this game. But like in like Final Fantasy 14,
really creating fresh stuff.
Yeah, like you're you can dish out a lot of time into these games, and the subscription depends, I think. I would say that League of Legends, I gotta be honest here, League of Legends is the game I've played the most, like probably in my entire life.
It's like 600 hours of gameplay
I've
there.
dished like so much time into League of Legends, and for those of you that don't know, it is a free-to-play game, and the only things that you buy through the game are the skins and stuff to kind of make your dude look a little craftier or whatever. And they're great. I love it, and they'll come out with holiday skins and all that just to kind of make you feel a little more different than the other characters playing the same people.
Yeah.
And there are so many characters that create that make every game feel different.
Yeah.
But World of Warcraft, I've never been so on the fence about a game.
Mm-hmm.
The subscription is something I'm able to put aside, sort of.
Yeah.
I'll eventually go, wow, I probably shouldn't really be paying for this anymore. I've definitely gotten the money's worth out of it, but to a point. I can only give it a couple months before I have to kind of give it up or whatever.
Yeah.
But they do continue to hop on it. I do think that the community is great. Blizzard's doing a great job. Overwatch is awesome. I'm hooked on Overwatch right now.
Is that game to play right now, that's for sure.
Next episode, I believe, is the episode we're going to be talking about them. We're going to go down the tier list of Overwatch and see how we feel about individual people, because I know him and I we play completely different people. And
make it work though. It's pretty cool.
Always talk about it. So
I'm still gonna have to find time to play.
Yeah,
it.
he got the game
for 5 days. Haven't played it.
Oh, that's rough, man.
I don't know how he did it. I put way too much time into Overwatch. I would be at work just like, I cannot wait to get out of here.
Just dreaming about it,
so
bro.
I can go grind just time and time into Overwatch. I traded in Battleborn. I was like so sick of that.
Yeah,
like,
Overwatch is what I wanted Battleborn to be anyway. So.
Overwatch is incredible.
It was weird because I've never really been into like any games such as like Overwatch or like League of Legends,
like those objective based games.
Yeah.
MOBAs.
Yeah, MOBAs, man. And honestly, what does that even stand for?
I
guess the world will never know.
Something.
Yeah.
But
what was it?
Basically, basically they're just team objective.
Oh yeah.
Where like you individually.
Yeah, I just never really gotten into like delved into games like that. And I was at GameStop and I was like, I think I want to get GTA 5, but I've heard so many good things about Overwatch.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do your friends play? I'm like, well, the guys that play PS4, so forever gonna be not able to play with them. So,
there's just the Berlin Wall between us right now.
Yeah.
That
cross multiplayer. We need
that reach out to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it.
See, you're playing
different
Overwatch,
consoles.
but the whole different console thing is really killing it.
Yeah.
What do you think about cross compatibility?
I can't wait for it. I hope it's a thing. Like I feel like it's in reach, way far, like more in reach than like VR shit is right now.
Okay.
But I'd be happy to like whoop Xbox players' ass because I
I'd
feel
be
like
gladly happy to wax you guys' asses.
just stomping 12-year-olds left and right. I would love that.
Oh no, I would love to stomp nothing but 37-year-olds.
That's the demographic right there.
It would also allow more or lower queue times. It would allow your
Absolutely.
Those servers are going to be
The
massive.
gaming
Though.
community is going to be awesome. Well, actually, it's going to be very hectic and aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more.
Like, could you imagine the Call of Duty like turnover cross like on that? That'd be a little crazy of a multiplayer game.
Oh man.
Like, oh my gosh, if you did like solely Xbox versus PS4 like game, like
Yeah.
Xbox players played with Xbox players only, kind of like they did with
Like
Rocket
Squad
League,
Up.
right.
like Rocket League PC.
Oh
players.
yeah, they made like a gender war,
Yeah.
but consoles.
Like who's superior? Like,
Oh, like-
a literal console war.
Imagine
bro?
if they had stats. Like imagine in Overwatch if it's like the
PS.
Xbox win ratios here,
Get outta here.
PCs over here, and it's like a never-ending morale bar of
That would be kind of
nonsense.
cool. I
It would be
enjoy
really cool, dude. It would feel like there's some more objectives, more things I have to put my mind to show Xbox players that they're not worth shit.
You know.
Back on topic with this DLC though.
What is everybody's top DLC? We'll probably end the episode on that, and we'll see how it goes. But we'll
Jeremy's
start
about
with
to dog on me, but I've got to say the Taken game.
Ah man,
Back
get
to-
out of here! If I could get up
in
out of
the
this camera, I
beginning,
would.
get out of here. Beginning and the end.
The
Taken King coming back.
He's
Gotta
just
love
through
it.
and through Destiny.
Destiny was the first RPG I really ever got into, and I'm
I
kind
don't
of
even
dogging on
consider it an
myself for
RPG.
that. No, dude, it is like
Ugh.
you get on a grind in
The-
that game. I love it. Like the replay
Yeah.
value already. Like if you're new to it, like I was talking about earlier, it's fun. It's new. Like you have something to look forward
Yeah,
to. Like every
it
Tuesday.
doesn't take
Yeah.
Every
age.
Tuesday, you
The
get your
community is really
nightfalls.
cool. I like the community of
the
Destiny.
people-
Yeah, they're
but
great.
You also get like your standard like 12-year-old like stock. It's like the stock player in Destiny
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Like you'll have that one kid in the 3-man fire team. It's just like, hey kids, what's up? I'm from Florida. Like,
Yeah.
mom's hot.
Like, all right, bro. Whatever.
yeah.
All right,
I
dude.
gotta power through this, but I mean, like, our at our age though, we're gonna be dealing with that no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, Destiny's community's great. I do love the whole outfitting thing, and I love that it doesn't take you forever to catch up to somebody that's at max level. It
Yeah.
really doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I played Destiny to the dirt when it first came out, and then I just eventually got tired of it. I felt like I was just grinding the same missions over and over, and then they were like, hey, you can dish out another $39 for something new, and I'm like, really? I'm not. I think my problem is just multiplayer DLC. I think multiplayer DLC is kind of trash, but if you gave me like a solid like one player like Fallout DLC is really cool.
Like Last of Us.
Yeah, like if they had, Last of Us is I like that game.
If,
That's one of the best games. I could just recommend that to anyone who has a PS4. But
Oh, yeah.
like they expand on the story, and like it's a story that sucks you in, and just the DLC is going to expand more on the characters. It's going to further develop the plot.
And that's
So
the
you're-
only thing I really missed out of Destiny was like there was a very noticeable lack of story.
Yeah. And see
That's
me,
the
I
only
love that
thing, and I'm a strictly, definitely PvE player in Destiny.
You're a
I
multiplayer
hate
type dude.
PvP.
Yeah.
Hate PvP. Hate it in Destiny. I mean, Steven can vouch for me. Living at Jimmy's house there for a second.
Yeah.
I was raging, bro.
Yeah.
Like over really petty stuff. So, but Destiny, like the Taken King, it was nice. It was fresh. They even came out with a whole new race of enemy. That's the fun thing. Like because you know pretty much nothing about these characters going in, and they're batshit crazy to kill. Like act like Thrall who teleport different places. Like holy shit.
Yeah, that makes
that's
that makes the battle system a lot more fresh.
It makes you think about your strategy a
Yeah.
little more instead of like, oh, I've been playing these same dudes for God knows how long.
Yeah,
I know exactly how to deal with this dude on the left.
They even have a gun that, like, one of the Hive races, their knight, like the knight, if he gets shot and he's a boomer, he'll just pull out a shield. Yeah. They even have a gun that, when you upgrade it all the way, shoots through the shield. Like,
oh man,
it's
that's
already
fire.
mounting right through him.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And he doesn't even move. He just stops. He's stationary.
Yeah.
So you, at this point, you can jump behind him, stab him in the back. If you're a hunter, you'll go invisible, come around him, and nail him with a shotgun. He's gone. But I mean, the new characters, they're crazy. Like, they're hard. It really does make you think about your strategy a lot more.
That's what's up.
And that's what I think Destiny was lacking, was a little bit of smarts to the game.
Yeah.
Really quickly, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like Mocha is more into story-based games.
For sure.
And you've kind of been pulled into the multiplayer world, which, I mean, there's nothing bad about that in comparison to him, because I'm kind of in the middle, dude. A part of me really doesn't care about story anymore, but a part of me is completely pulled in when I find one that does interest me. I started playing The Wolf Among Us lately, and I started playing Shadows of Mordor, and I'm really feeling the stories in those, but I'm also playing Overwatch still, so I'm really
on the fence.
I'm really on the fence with if I'm more on the multiplayer side or if I'm more on a story side.
Yeah, see, I just grew up playing, like, adventure games, you know, like Jak and Daxter, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. You know, I was really big on games that kind of... I was never into reading books, so I guess video games was my outlet to, like, really good story and imagery and, you know, just being captivated by, like, a storytelling of some sort. So,
that you took part of.
Yeah, like I could relate to characters. It's like watching a soap opera or something when you're playing like Final Fantasy VII or something like that, and you get attached to these characters, and you know bad things happen to them, and you're feeling for them and everything. It's just like you get sucked in. So like when I look for like DLC, I want something that expands that in a sense, instead of like giving me more like gameplay or stuff like that. I would like I said, The Last of Us, where you played as Ellie and you got the backstory of who Ellie really was. That was a really cool DLC. Like, that's worth my money in my book.
Because the story for The Last of Us was so incredible that this was just something even more, which you never would have expected out of a game. Like, you already did your job. We think your game's absolutely phenomenal, and you're gonna throw this on us. This is awesome.
Right.
The Last of Us is I would have to say it's the closest thing to a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just a great game. Really threw everybody off guard. Like, Last of Us did what Evil Within tried to make even better and really failed at.
Yeah, terribly.
So what would you say is your favorite DLC then? Did you already hit us with it, or?
I would say...
Were you joking around earlier when you said Rocket League?
No, I was definitely 100%.
Okay.
I'm all for Rocket League just because that game is honestly just the most addicting game I've ever played. And even though it's the same thing every match, like something crazy always happens in the match, and I like that kind of competitive gaming. So
it's a great. I love Rocket League so much because, and you know, every person that loves Rocket League is gonna tell you like, I don't even like soccer, or I'm not even into cars that much. I'm not into either, personally. but Rocket League is so much fun, and it's such a simple idea of doing flips for this giant soccer ball to knock into a goal. Like
there's something that just gets you real hyped about it.
Something that every single
the
time you hear,
edge in
just
because people are fiends. I am a fiend for 1v1.
Oh yeah, dude.
I love it.
That gets the blood rushing right there, dude.
Like nothing's better.
These guys will eat up some 1v1.
Scrub. Yeah, I'm down to crush some scrubs, bro, for sure.
These guys eat
up
1v1.
Jeremy, dude.
Oh my! After this, we can do that.
We got
for
to.
Sure.
Post the results next video.
Well, next episode we'll start off with Okay, so here's what happened in the Rocket League battle. I'm probably gonna stay out of it. I've been a little competitive with Jeremy. Kind of been on the losing end a lot lately, so
I'm telling you, I'm the veteran of Rocket League, so I will accept your challenge, sir.
I'm gonna take it cool. I'm gonna sit back and watch and probably get some popcorn. But so that's it.
I'd say Batman. I really like Batman just in general, but those games I think were masterpieces, especially Arkham City. So when they came out with DLC with that. Like, I don't know if it's just a bias kind of thing that I was really in love with the game, but when they came out with DLC, I went ahead and bought it. They weren't really up to par in my standards. Like, Arkham Knight's latest DLC, what they had, Ra's al Ghul, Killer Croc, and, a couple other things. I thought it was just kind of lacking. I expected more for my money, but at the same time, I bought it anyway just because I love Batman and those games so much. So I'm kind of on the fence of... I think multiplayer Rocket League is kind of the exception, just because Rocket League is so cost efficient.
Yeah.
And then I'm just really a big fan of the other games. So if I'm a big fan, I'm probably just going to go ahead and get everything I can about that game.
Yeah, I completely get you on that one. I will say Rocket League's DLC is incredible. I love the price. I love that they don't push it down my throat. It's awesome. I play a lot of PC, so there's this game called Age of Wonder 3 that I really got into for a while. It's kind of like the Civilization games, real-time strategy type of stuff. But there was something about it. You had all of these races of like orcs or orcs, humans, dwarves, elves, whatever, and you would come together. There were like frostlings. There was DLCs where they had like frostlings. There was draconians, I think is what they were, where they were like dragon dudes that breathed fire and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had DLCs where they added new races into the game. And for that to happen in a real-time strategy, there's so much more stuff that you're adding to your game by doing this. Like, even if I'm not using these races, the races being in my game that I'm playing probably for hours is going to make the variety in it so much more. I have to completely, just like the Destiny thing, I have to completely base a different strategy around these new guys, and I don't know how they're going to act. I don't know what their complete direct weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, something about those DLCs, I was really all about it. As soon as I bought the game, I got in there, and then I was like, there are new races for this game that I can get, and I hopped on it immediately. But that would probably be my answer for best DLC. I think all these answers were pretty good, though.
I think I'd have to close this. I was saying the Goat Simulator DLC is the worst. I definitely had to remember that.
Goat Simulator is the best game ever.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a really fun, it's a really fun game just by itself. But I don't think that they should have added like $20 expansions, two $20 expansions. One was like a zombie one, and then like. I swear one was like a vampire one. I have no clue, but I think it was.
Okay.
But those are just absolutely awful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Alright, guys, well, I think we're done for the day. Thanks for tuning in for our first video. Please be kind.
We're still working on all the stuff. Just got the microphone and stuff, so we're trying to see how that all goes. This is kind of a test, but also we learned a lot about each other's interests and all that.
That's for sure.
Give us some of your feedback as well.
Yeah, let us know. Name some stuff you want us to talk about, whether it's news stories, video games, something that happened in comics.
Possibly you. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever you want us to do. Let us know if you are in town.
Always got guest stars for sure.
We're always trying to have
Nellyville.
some guests on the show. So if you're trying to join in, just hit one of us up. Let us know. We'll see what we can do. We'll let you know what we're trying to talk about, and if you could be down with getting into that. But we are heading off here, so we will see you guys later.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in.